teams understand a little bit about the way that the Atlanta Falcons offense is performing and what Kirk Cousins likes and dislikes, what he's capable of doing and what he's not capable of doing. And this actually cost them a win. I want you guys to check out what we're looking at here. And keep in mind, the Atlanta Falcons just played the Seattle Seahawks. And so if you're looking at this graphic, what you'll notice is on the x-axis, you're going to see defensive efficiency when teams use play action against you. And on the y-axis, you're going to see defensive efficiency when teams do not use play action against you. What this means is where the Atlanta Falcons are sitting, the Seattle Seahawks defense is sitting, you will see that the Seattle Seahawks are one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL when teams use play action against them. One of the worst. They're fifth worst in the NFL, right? Like 28th, with the Rams being dead last. But when you look at the y-axis, pass efficiency without play action, you can see that they actually are the fifth best team in the NFL. The fifth best pass defense in the NFL. What it means to be in this top left quadrant is that you need to have efficiency. You need to use play action against these pass defenses. They're extremely sensitive. I use the terminology sensitive to this type of play action. It means they have big splits with and without play action. And when I was working with a team in particular, this was a big focus for me when I would help devise some of their game plans, was this is what we need to capitalize on. Any team that's in this quadrant, we really need to jack up our play action rate, because this is going to be a clear deficiency and a way to attack this opponent. And so when you're going up against the Seattle Seahawks or the San Francisco 49ers or the LA Rams especially, you have to dial up a lot more play action than you normally do. So I know the Falcons aren't using play action because it seems Kirk Cousins still isn't quite healthy. And I learned long ago to toss out that assumption of rational coaching. So the Falcons, they use play action. They're not going to probably use it that much. If they're not using it regularly, they may not use it much in this game. So sure enough, the Atlanta Falcons used play action on only 4 dropbacks last week, the lowest rate of any team in the NFL, despite the Seahawks sitting here in that top left quadrant. But look at what the Falcons did with play action on early downs. With play action, when Kirk Cousins used play action on early downs, he averaged positive 0.41 EPA, 75% success, and 7 yards per attempt. Without play action, negative 0.39 EPA, 46% success, and 5.7 yards per attempt. Now, you see that I'm only focusing on early downs. I always get rid of third downs when I'm looking at something like this, because it's not fair to compare play action splits with third down, because you're almost never going to use play action on third down. You just don't do it. You use play action on early downs the vast majority. So I'm not going to throw in Kirk Cousins' poor performance on third down and make those third downs weigh into dragging down that minus 0.39 even further. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here, just looking at early downs. This is an issue for the Atlanta Falcons. Why did they not see that they should be using a lot more play action? I mean, they used it 4 times. They had a lot of success when they used it. Are they not studying their opponent and making a tweak to the game plan? If they can use it 4 times and they have success, they could use it 10 times. And that's what they should have obviously done, and they would have had a lot more success. Because they were not using play action when they're passing the football, think about that Seattle Seahawks defense. What was the biggest issue with that Seattle Seahawks defense entering the game? They were decimated in the secondary. And yet the and they were getting healthier on that defensive line. They were getting guys back on that defensive line, but they were losing guys in the secondary. And yet they are using run plays on early downs and no play action, and they're just dropping back standard to pass the football, making it much more predictable and helping out that secondary, which is one of the most sensitive defenses to play action in the NFL. Look at where the Buffalo Bills sit here on early down play action usage. So you see the Atlanta Falcons, early down play action usage. Once again, I'm focusing on early downs. The Atlanta Falcons use it the least of any team. The assumption of rational coaching, we got to throw that out the window. We would not expect them to use more, though they should have. So let's look at the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills use play action at the 3rd lowest rate of any team in the NFL. And yet on that y-axis, that's EPA per attempt with play action. In other words, they are one of the best teams in the NFL when they do decide to use play action, but they still are using it at the 3rd lowest rate. For this game in particular, the Buffalo Bills absolutely must go ahead and jack up their play action usage rate a ton. They've got to bring it back up well above that 12.5% that they've got on the season. They've got to jack that up. You can bring it back to me, Matt, and bring it way higher than what they currently are using play action at. If they're going to have success against the Seattle Seahawks defense, which is the 5th best in the NFL when teams don't use play action against them, the Bills cannot afford to use play action at the 3rd lowest rate, especially considering how good the Buffalo Bills are when using play action. They absolutely positively must jack up that play action usage rate. Hopefully they do that this weekend when they go on the road into Seattle. That game right now, I'm looking at my odds screen. Where are we at here? The Buffalo Bills are laying 3 points on the road. It opened at 3. It is still at 3. We still have a lot to determine with the health of that Seahawks secondary. Will they get any of those guys back? But what we do know is that they are getting healthier along that defensive line. They better jack up that play action rate. And we'll see if their offensive coordinator is paying attention to the numbers and the data and the Seahawks defensive analytics, and if they jack that usage rate up or not. But one thing's for certain, they're going to get called out on this show next Tuesday at noon Eastern if they do not use enough play action and end up losing that game, just like Kirk Cousins and that Atlanta Falcons team. No excuse for that.